So when's the last time that you went to the grocery store? Think about it. Now, think about how many plastic bags that you used. Probably at least 3 or 4, maybe a dozen or more. My next guest is proposing a tax on each and every one of those bags. He's going to be angry at me for that, though his goal is not to raise revenue as much as it is to break shoppers from habits that he says hurt the environment. Assemblyman Micah Kellner represents parts of Manhattan. He's joining us in the studio. I used the tax word. I wasn't supposed to do that.
Really, Liz, what we're trying to do here is exactly what you said, break people of a bad habit. Plastic bags are really environmentally dangerous. We use a plastic bag maybe for a few minutes to cart a carton of milk or some toothpaste home from the grocery store, but they stay in our environment for 1,000 years. They photodegrade, they become toxic chemicals, and they really endanger the environment. They endanger our health and the future health of our kids and our grandkids. And there's actually a national security component to this. It takes 11 barrels of oil to make a ton of plastic bags. We all know the price of oil is going up right now, and so that means the price of plastic bags for the grocery store is going to go up. That means the price of our food is going to go up.
So if you don't consider it, it's 25 cents is what we're talking about. If it's not a tax, then you consider it a disincentive fee?
Well, it's a disincentive fee, but there's also an alternative in the bill. It's people can come. They can bring a tote bag their own, but what my bill says the City of New York has to tell grocery stores to do is offer a tote bag, a reusable bag that can be returned for a deposit that is less than the plastic bag fee.
Okay, 2 questions. First of all, this was tried in the New York City Council, and it was 5 cents at the time. And of course, industry hates this, can't stand it, considers it a tax, says, every time you go to the store, people who are already, now, look, and it's true, food is going up, the cost of food is going up. They spend money just to go to the store, gas is going up, and then they get there and they have to spend extra money to take their bags home, unless, of course, they're using reusable, which a lot of stores are offering now, too. The industry doesn't like it. It failed at New York City, so why would it work on the state level?
Well, this is actually a bill that just applies to the city. It doesn't apply. I think sometimes, people don't recognize what they're giving up. I was very sad when the city turned this down. Instead, they said, we're going to do a much more regressive tax. We're going to put a higher sales tax on everything, and I think that actually hurts low-income folks more. I think my bill is very fair. It actually has a provision for low-income folks. If you have food stamps, the tax, you're paying with food stamps, the tax doesn't apply to you. You can bring reusable bags. We've seen in other localities around the country that when you put a tax on plastic bags, the use of plastic bags goes way down. In Washington, D.C., in March 2009, that was the first month they had only a 5-cent tax on plastic bags. They thought they were going to bring in $200 million a month. They actually brought in only $150 million that month, but they also saw an 87% decrease in the use from 22 million down to 3 million.
Okay, so this is what you're saying here is this is not about generating additional revenue to try and help close the $10 billion budget deficit or to offset some of the cuts that the governor is proposing in education or healthcare. This really is, in your mind, something that has to do with ideology and not necessarily with money.
Exactly, Liz. I want to make it a faux pas to be seen with a plastic bag. In Ireland, they did this back in 2002. They did a similar cost. It was about 30 cents in Ireland, and within 6 weeks, plastic bag usage had gone down 94%.
Okay, but isn't there is a plastic bag industry? I mean, you're hurting an industry of people who make plastic bags, and what are those people supposed to do?
Well, we are coming up with new and more environmentally friendly bags. In my bill, for smaller stores, this bill only applies to stores of 5,000 square feet or more, or 5 or more locations. What we say to smaller stores is, we're going to give you a tax incentive to use biodegradable bags. Use bags that have 30% or more made up of recycled material. One of the sad things is, we put all these laws in place about recycling plastic bags, but it's just not happening. The Clean Air Council believes that only between 1% and 3% of plastic bags are being recycled. It's because it's so costly to recycle plastic bags. It costs $4,000 to recycle 1 ton of plastic bags, and you can only sell that on the commodities market for $32.
So you really do feel passionately about this, it's clear, and you have a lot of information. Why not just make it statewide, though? I'm not advocating for that personally, necessarily. I'm just saying if you really feel that way, and it already failed once in New York City, and you really want to make the push, why not just take the plunge?
Well, for right now, the mayor has shown, some tacit support for this, and that's why I'm starting here. I think other localities could follow our suit. You know, if the governor said to me he was interested in this, I might look at making this statewide. But for right now, we're looking at it. You know, this is the bill as it is in this form. You know, bills get amended, bills get changed. We can easily make it statewide if there was an outpouring of support to make it statewide. What I would like to do is just ban plastic bags. In San Francisco, that's exactly what they did. They just banned plastic bags outright. Okay. I don't want to tax
San
folks.
Francisco is not New York. I just, you know, it's just not.
Well, maybe one day we could be like.
Could be. Hey, here's the thing. You actually, and I know you don't have a Senate sponsor for this, but you are really personally invested. And I know a lot of people are going to watch this and say, this isn't fair, it's a tax, etc. But you actually, you brought your bag, you give these out, right,
Yep.
in your district. So, and you actually personally put money, of your own money into this, and you purchase bags and you hand them out to constituents on the street?
Well, I go to the green market. I go and stand in front of supermarkets. I have a little pamphlet on recycled paper. I have the tote bag right here. It unfolds. Does it
have your name on it?
It does have my name on it, but to show you what a bad politician I am, Liz, my name is so small on it that when you put enough groceries in it, it ends up being the bottom of the bag. So it wasn't well designed in that way, but it carries about 30 pounds, and so I get no greater joy than when I go with my fiance on Saturday mornings to the green market by our house, seeing people carrying my tote bags, other people's tote bags, knowing that they come each and every day and they remember to bring their tote bags because they want to make sure our environment is in better shape.
And I have to ask you, I'm sorry, the Times Union did a story about this. That's how I found out about it. And you were quoted as saying that you're like the Justin Bieber of tote bags. So I have to ask what you meant by that.
Well, Mr. Velkin got my quote just ever so slightly wrong. I was suggesting that my tote bags are stylish. Many teenage girls have come up. They see their friends with my tote bag. They come up. So I said they're a very stylish bag. Teenage girls flock to get them. I'm like the Justin Bieber of tote bags.
Okay.
All in good fun.
And perhaps you're not making any tote bag songs, anything?
No tote bag. I am tone deaf. One thing you will not hear me doing is singing.
Okay, Assemblyman Kellner, I want to thank you very much for coming in.
Appreciate it, Liz. Thank you for having me.